two children. My son is 2.5, and my daughter is now 6 months old. And I hired Maternal Instinct when my daughter was first born, just a couple days after the first nanny came to our house. He really struggled with sleeping at night. I actually didn't get him to sleep through the night till he was well over a year old. And I think that took a really big toll on not only me being a mom, but I also really struggled with my husband and I together. I was so exhausted, and I took it out on him, which I really regret. And I also thought that parenting was supposed to be some sort of utopia, and it did not seem like that when I was so exhausted. I also really struggled with postpartum depression, and I think that that was actually a huge result of me being so exhausted. So before hiring Maternal Instincts, I think that I was really struggling as a mom. And then after I hired Maternal Instincts with my daughter, the second time around, it was like night and day. Having just a full night's rest helps you be such a better mom, more patient, more flexible. With a toddler running around, you can't possibly sleep when the baby's sleeping. So that was huge for me, being able to take care of my older child while also taking care of the newborn and myself at the same time. My first impression of the nannies that showed up from Maternal Instincts was that they were so warm and so kind. And I was definitely apprehensive about the process of hiring a night nanny, simply because it's kind of, I think, natural for a mom to sort of be the overseer and want to sort of have your hand in the pot and make sure that the baby's taken care of. It's just a natural, I think, instinct. But the gals that came over were so warm and so welcoming and so helpful, and they actually taught me more about a baby's schedule and what they needed than I had ever known before. So it ended up being a really kind of mutually beneficial experience.
That's great.
Quite possibly the best thing that I've ever had. The nannies show up. I kind of conferenced with them. They were awesome and asked, questions about the baby, questions about how they could be helpful, kind of any nuances that might be helpful for them during the night. And then very quickly they let me go, and I was happy to jump into my bed, and they took care of my daughter Julia for the whole night. They would feed her, change her, rock her back to sleep, wash bottles, fold baby laundry. They were awesome. And then when she got to the point that she was actually starting to be ready to sleep for longer periods at night, they actually did sort of a sleep training method that was very soothing and helpful, and I never heard any crying, and it was just like a little magic trick that got the baby to sleep through the night, which was awesome. The nannies from Maternal Instinct came for about 8 weeks, and that was it. I was actually sort of surprised. I thought it would take a lot longer, but they were really adamant that they could get the baby to sleep through the night. Between 8 and 12 weeks, depending on the baby, depending on their circumstances. They got Julia to sleep through the night in about 5 straight nights. And now Julia is sleeping from 7 to 7, 12 hours, which is amazing. It gives me some time at night to be able to have to myself. And also in the morning, my husband can be here while I go work out or take care of my son when he first wakes up in the morning. So it's just been a huge blessing to our family. My husband also travels, so it's a big luxury for me to be able to have a full night's rest to be able to take care of my kids. From my own experience, I would say that I've gone without a night nanny and with a night nanny, and it is absolutely night and day in terms of the experience you'll have as a mom. It is not a rite of passage to be tired and exhausted and feel irritated, and I would say in a lot of ways sort of short-tempered. It's just not necessary. You can be an awesome mom during the day to your kids and still provide really great quality sleep for yourself and your baby at night, which I think is not always the case. So if I had to tell someone whether or not to hire a night nanny, I would 100% tell them to hire it in a heartbeat and really think about it before the baby is born until you get yourself, back on your feet. I just don't think